I've muted. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Cool. Hello, everybody. We're just gonna do a short stream today and try beat a journey. I'm gonna go for a few collectibles, but nothing too insane, I don't think. There is no platinum trophy in this game, but I love this game, so we're gonna play it. Pretty much. New journey. But yeah, this is gonna be our same day platinum Saturday game this week. Sadly. I ran out of time of East Shade this week, so East Shade will be played on Saturday next week at this point. Alright, I'll let the video play. I've beaten this game, I think, 8 times, by the way. But I haven't beaten it since 2019? 2020, actually. Sorry. God damn. Alright, we need to pop this first trophy. Just meditating for 20 seconds, I think it is. Oh, another player. No! I forgot about that. I forgot that was a thing. Here's 2 with another player. I wanted to make Rikoi play this, but I'll try and make her play it with me next week, I think. She wasn't really interested in playing with me, so... But I'll make her play at another point. God damn. Run, run. Hey, Minx. How you doing, fam? I slept in because I had dumb nightmares. I feel you on that one. I had some pretty shit ones as well. I remember some of these locations, but I'm not going to remember everything, so I will have a bit of a guide up as well to try to find some stuff. I'd rather do this, like, all the collectibles now, and then my second playthrough for Koya, I would prefer to, like, let her just play the game. I'm sorry to hear about the nightmares, fam. Alright, we need there's 21 of those in the game. No, it's okay, I know. They were just dumb. Yeah, I'm still sorry to hear that though, fam, you know. Still not nice. Sorry to hear about yours. You know, I'm used to it at this point. Alright, here's the first glyph. Pretty sure. There it is. I think there's not many of these, right? I think there's 7 or 8 of them. It's not too bad. You goddamn right. It is a great game to chill out on. Hey, Sauce. Hello, Rules. How you guys doing? I don't have as much time as I would like, so choosing a bit of a shorter game today. One from my backlog. Not that it's really on the backlog either. I've already beaten it like that many times, but... Oh yeah, that one. You haven't played this game, Minx? Oh my god, bro. You're missing out. You should play it. Journey's a fun game, very interesting game, yeah. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Terrible, isn't it? Especially that you like the shorts. It's not very long at all. Oh, so I need to... Didn't know it was co-op either. Yeah, you can play like a fair bit of it co-op. It's easy to do the co-op on PC, I've heard. Like way easier. Okay. You kind of half watched him. It's not. They're not going to come with me, are they? Okay. Okay. So I can just use it. Sorry, it's been a while since I've played this game. Sword of the Sea, like the spiritual successor of this, was my game of the year last year. Very underrated. And Queen played a bit of it too. Yeah, I love Sword of the Sea. I think it's probably, yeah, easily the best game I played last year in my opinion, but again, no one really agrees, but you know. What you gonna do? It's my own day list. You should, yeah. It's not very long. It's like 2 hours at max, unless you're going for everything. No one ever agrees with my favorite games, it's okay. Yeah, I feel that. It's a bit like that. I think this is the only glyph I need. It's still amazing to me that no one's really still made like that good of a guide for this game yet. After all this time. Thank you for the lurk there, Darkrai. Hope you're well. Sleep well, fam. There you go, we found all 3 glyphs there. It's telling me. Not glyphs, sorry, the things. Alright, that's chapter 1 done. Titty cup? You goddamn right. I drink out of the titty cup every day. It's peak. All hail the titty cup. My god. I hope they make titty cups for Juiced. That should be fire. Let's see if we find someone. You generally find someone just at this gate. Look, there's someone. Look. Titty? Oh, damn it. I think it was part of the story. There's usually someone at the end of this corridor if you're like gonna find people in multiplayer. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Well, I reckon there was someone and they're gone. Finding someone, it was pretty cool. You find a lot of people. I've finished the game with like 6 people before. Bugger. Yeah, I reckon there might have been someone and they're gone. That's alright. So what we need to do... We need to get over this bridge without building the first one. I do remember that. And I think there's a hidden glyph in the far left. I'm not slick with the movement anymore, but I used to be able to, like, fucking fly around like a motherfucker. So I gotta be careful, because some of these do release into building the bridge, and we don't want that. I might have to look it up, I think. I mean, there's only 2 glyphs in this area. There's one on the far right as well. Because I remember finding it a long time ago and getting shitty about it, that I'd never seen it before. Is it over here? There it is. There's one over there, actually. I wasn't expecting that. Maybe there's not a hidden glyph here. I swear there's one here, though. Interesting. Is it over here? I swear it was behind one of these waterfalls, but maybe I'm tripping. Oh no, there it is. There's one there. I thought it was on the left. It's on the right. There you go. And then there's a final one really far over the right, I think. I think that'll be I think that's the only one in this area. Late game has, like, I think a few more. Let me have a look real quick there. There it is there. Okay, so that's the only glyph there. Okay. No. Nice. Nice. Alright, I think that's the final one we need from here. Now I gotta figure out and remember how I do the bridge. I should search it up, shouldn't I? I really don't want to have to do this again for Koi. That'll ruin it. Let me look it up real quick. Do. Mysterious hidden temple. Da 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 da. 15 gates is going to be brutal, I think. Here it is. How'd your stream go in the end, by the way, Rulezak? Did you end up ending yet? Or are you still going? Oh, red zone. So is Kira. Wait, what? Okay, so this first one's good. Anybody else just like fully hungry, or does that look like kebab meat to me? Maybe it's just me. Oh, this 24-hour dude? Rulezak was, yes. They did the 24-hour. Luckily, you're not hungry yet. Passed after finishing session, believing the bed will not seduce me going upstairs. I've got to say, the other thing that always gets me is warm food. Like later in the thing, that's always rough too. Hey, Rock. How you doing, fam? I ended up removing all my own personal games from the from the same day Platinum Saturday now, so I can smash through them a bit quicker. But just, and then days like today where like something happens, then I can just pick my own games to be faster. Just chill watching videos. Nice. Sounds good. Food you? Oh, that's good then. I'm always 50-50. I generally try to get pizza and fruit. I think this is quite difficult to do, if I remember correctly. No, it did. Why did it do that? What the fuck? It automatically did it. I can't believe that. Why did it just do that? I didn't press anything. That's so infuriating. I'll have to come back and do it. I think... How are you supposed to do it again? I don't know. That's infuriating. I've done it before. That automatically, like, did it. I'm not quite sure why. That's not supposed to do that. That's all right. Because I didn't press circle. That's all right. I'll get it. I'll just cry myself to sleep. Little anger fueled. That sucks that did that. Okay, so I think we're in chapter 3 now. If I remember correctly, there's like... we have to save things, I think, right? This one? Yes. Okay. Okay, there's 7 of them. That we've got to try remember. Oh, the craziest thing happened the other day with my chicory video, because I'm going to upload the chicory playthrough to YouTube. It got copyright striked by fucking... Not like striked, but like... It got taken down by fucking Shane Gillis. The weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, I don't know why his management cares, but... I think I had his video in the... while I ate dinner. And they fully took down my video. So I've had to cut it out. It's not that big of a deal. It's not even his content. It was Hot Ones episode. And I was like, what the fuck? That's so weird. It's so weird. And it's got like, it's literally, someone's gone through, and I seriously mean this. So what they did when I like looked it up, because it tells you when like they've been striked. And every time he appeared in the video, because you know, like you've seen Hot Ones, it'll flip from old mate to the main person, to the guest. Every time Shane Gillis is on screen, it instantly is saying, cut this, and then constantly cutting it. So like, I was like, dude, someone's come through and checked this? It was wonderful, like I said, full of dreams. Oh, that's good then. I'm glad. I didn't see you, Mings. Ah, you're a secret mission. LA Leaf. How you doing today, family? But it was so weird. I won't even get any views on it or anything. It's just, I just put it on there in case Koi wanted to see it or anyone else wanted to see me play it and miss the VOD. I'm alive, breathing today. That's good then, fam. I'm glad. Took my inhaler 3 times today. Oof. Sorry to hear that. This is a famous song, is it? Or you just listen to the song? Oh, this is the famous song. But yeah, it was really weird. Especially since Shane Gillis is literally on like so many YouTube videos, it's not even funny. Is this somewhere in the Middle East? This is just made up. This world doesn't exist. Oh, you know the soundtracks? You never played it there? Interesting. Trying to remember where these are. This is really tough. There's a lot of missables here. Same day play, Sunday. Yeah, it is. Hey, Rocky.
Where is it? I will not ask again, child.
Still there, still there. Still there. Why can I not find what I'm looking for? It's really weird, but I can't find thingo. Maybe there's more buildings on the left. Wait, how have we got 1, 2? No, 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 no. Fuck you, game. Is it seriously gonna do this to me? Don't do it. Thank you. There we go. Let me get my collectibles. Boom. So I feel good that I slept on Be Right Back stream better than if Cam would be snoring on the chair. I need to stop doing this. Not real Be Right Back after 8 hours. It happens. Everybody does it eventually. I've had a lot of friends pass out on stream. I used to have one mate who used to do it a lot. He doesn't stream anymore though. Oh, that's one of the hieroglyphics actually. Is there 2 in this area or just 1? Do you have a beer beside you? No, I don't. Why is that? I drank all my beers this weekend. I drank too much this weekend, to be honest. You should get one and start drinking. Where are you? Hey, Mal. I would, but I gotta drive today. Oh, I reckon that's one there. How's it going? Not bad, fam. How are you doing? Where are you? You feeling a bit flat? I'm sorry to hear that, fam. Dude, you went so late last night with Persona. By the way, it was crazy. I was watching it like 5 in the morning. You are in a really good spot in the game though. I don't blame you at all. If it was just a couple a week. No, I have a bit of a drinking problem, to be fair. Oh, I nearly made it. Hey, Squigs. How are you? Can I please... Guys, come help me. Maybe I'll go over here, actually. Hang on. No more alcohol for him? It's alright. It's alright, fam. It's alright. Don't stress. Alright. I'm still missing... I'm still missing one, and I don't know where it is, and it's super weird. Only juiced. I'm currently out of juice, sadly. Ran out the other day. Try remember this one. You have a box. I get away from the new flavors now. Hopefully some titty cups as well. I really hope they do some titty cups. The other day was like 6 months ago. Purge moves cups when? Yeah, exactly. Minx made one once. She still has the cup. I think it's a bit worn now. Maybe it's not this one. Which one is it? This is ridiculous, guys. This is I forgot how much is in this area. And look at these little funnels over there, just not even helping. Over there? I have the design ready for print, actually. Then asked for what needed to be the best print type. I remember you saying that, yeah. I wouldn't mind ordering some custom ones. I do use them a lot, so... That's not one either. So I'm missing one glyph, I think, and one... one piece of my scarf. This is where we started. I'm looking for the One Piece. Minx won't be able to tell me to tell you that you're gay and she wants to just shave your mustache. No idea why. I'll go clean shaven again, cheeky. I'm getting a lot of ingrown hairs, that's why I haven't shaved in a while. It needs to all go. Needs to all go. Koi said she found a grey hair the other day. Hell yeah, dude. I want that grey beard. The band hammer. Are you the worst of a fish? Or didn't sleep. Love you. Sleep well, Koi. Love you too, bro. The barn hammer. Yeah, I don't know what's happened. These guys are actually acting weird too. Usually they're supposed to be like helping me and they're not. Oh, by the way, that star flying down means someone finished the game. By the way, how cool is that? That's what that means. Where the fucking hell are these? What is this? So you can just want to pass people who finish the game markers? Yeah. Yeah. You do see other people, but the desert's kind of the hardest one to find people generally, obviously, because it's freaking huge. Be back later. All good. We did that one. I'm genuinely dumbfounded. Like, where the fuck is this collectible? You gotta get ready for the gym. Enjoying. Maybe I'll beat the long ass dialogues today. Good luck, fam. Good luck. If you go over far enough, the game just pushes you back. Here's one, I think. No, this is the one we got before, isn't it? Bugger, dude. What is going on? Hang on. I'm gonna actually have to look up a guide for this. This is ridiculous. There's another one as well that like just hasn't even like appeared, which is even more weird. I'm so like lost for like no reason whatsoever. Hang on. Okay. I'm gonna see where one is. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Oh, I think this is one here, actually. Hang on. I think this is the glyph I'm missing. MO flip? Yeah, that's because the I removed the mod follower for that. I need to do that. There we go. Okay. It's like it just freaking appeared, that one. Oh, I reckon it's that one. Hang on. Hang on. We might have found it. Hang on. These hips don't lie, goddamn. Okay, it is. Beautiful. 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 I think that's it. Yeah, so I got the first one. We got the other one. Third one was up top, and then that one. And then the glyphs. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Bad indigestion. Now, the other thing I'm a bit worried about is I've got to save a big boy. I definitely think we got them all in the desert. I'm sure of that, Millie. God, I'm gonna stand together that long. Jeez. Just let me relax. Interesting. Go kill it at the gym and enjoy your bike session. I went no less than 45 minutes. Oh, we'll risk it for the biscuit. I think I've got everything else. Alright, I see that final glyph there. Let's get the fucking hell. Apparently there's one trapped in here that I don't know about. The grading in the platform, it reckons. Over here, or was it up there? Shit, where was this thing again? Is it over here, is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Another one. I just saw it. Just saw it. You nearly got me, man. The last few that have been done have been really good. I got caught out the other day. Alright, we'll see if we get a trophy here. Let's hope we do. Okay, the next stage is a little bit of a nightmare for me. Explore! Let's go! Oh my lord. I did not want to have to redo this one, I'm gonna be honest, guys. Give me the one. Give me the Huang. Whew. The best time to do it before is if you could do it when you get about to get the next trophy. So you'd be like, no, not a trophy, you can't fool me. It's tough to like time it, but there's been some really, really good ones recently. Oh, Retro, how you doing, fam? Someone got me the other day where I like was doing a game blind as well. So like I didn't know what trophies were going to be popped, and then they did it, and it, like, I was like, oh, a trophy, and it wasn't one. Can't wait for Destiny 2 grind. You're never gonna let that go away. It'll be when you least expect it, Retro. I've got to go back to Destiny 1 first. I gotta go do that. Oh, we need to pass through 15 of these as well, by the way. Which is extremely difficult, by the way. Oh, there's a glyph over here. I've missed this one so many times. Alright, I think that was 5. I think I remember. Music is nice. Yeah, it's got a very, very good soundtrack. How you doing today, Retro? But yes, Destiny 2 will happen. Nice. That's the other glyph that we needed. Don't know if there's another one here, actually. Is there another one here? I don't think so. Alright. If I remember correctly, this is quite tough to do. Alright, we got it in the end. That's okay. I think there might be one more glyph. I got a funny feeling in this section as well, which is not going to be fun. Let me just try to find it. I hear the Moss games are getting remastered and they won't be VR game this time. Oh, interesting. Those games are very highly regarded. I wonder how they'll play. Both of them as well, hey? I'm guessing. The second one didn't take off as well as the first, though. But I remember it releasing in a weird time. You've flattered both of them already? Oh, nice. Okay. We're not going to be able to get this 15 trophy. I'll have to come back for it. This glyph is very well hidden, though. Oi. And the game does that. Yeah, you cheeky dog. I see ya. Bugger. I'm gonna miss the other glyph too because I was looking backwards. Bailey! Yeah, definitely not 15. I'm gonna have to come back for it. That's alright though. This is one of my favorite parts in the entire game though. Crazy to think this is a PS3 game. That's so well done. You're doing the PS3 version? No, it's the PS4 one. It is just the same game though, ported. I don't think you can buy the PS3 version anymore. Unless you get it physically, which is quite expensive. Okay, this next section is tough, and I have to try get through it without getting caught or killed by this, or getting hit by this monster. Which is quite frustrating. I can't believe I spotted this glyph because the guy who made this video actually missed the glyph. Which is insane. In the video I'm watching right now, he actually missed it, which is pretty wild. I hate when that happens. Yeah, it's when it's a bit of an older one, eh? Okay, it doesn't seem to be any glyphs in this next section though, really. And then there is a... Not a glyph, sorry, one of the collectibles. Okay. Let us begin. Bit frustrating about the 15 things. I don't think I've actually ever been able to do the 15 either. I've always struggled with that. I'll come back and do that another day, most likely. I would just love to get all the collectibles today. At least. We're a fair way into the game. I actually forget how short this game is. I'm not gonna lie. It's not very long at all. Alright, beautiful. Let's get in there. Do wish this game had a platinum though. It doesn't. I guess it's because it's a small game. It's one of the original, like, yeah, indie games. So it was in like a generation where like they were doing trophies, but they weren't doing platinums for a lot of games. Or the indie titles, at least, anyway. I see you. I see you. You little shite. Try one was the first game to have a plat. Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? That's why it's probably, I think, one of the most completed platinums ever. Pretty sure. On the PS3 generation, at least, anyway. It got a lot of people, they got a lot of people into trophy hunting. I think most people that I know that have been trophy hunting for a long time have done it, so... They got patched in. There was a fair few that got patched in, hey. There's a lot of games that still didn't in the end, which sucks. The more frustrating ones for me are always the ones where they've got achievements but not trophies. Like, it's Xbox. Purge, a freaking manga series that came out in January last year is already out of print last week. What the fuck? Already? Jesus, dude. You did the remaster? I like Uncharted, but not enough to do the platinums, I think. The watch on my gift arrived. The watch? You got a watch? Nice. You've platted all 5 games. Did you do the 100% for them? My god, that's loud. Yes, yes, nice. That's sick, fam. It looks very pog. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think the only Uncharted game I would think about 100%ing would probably be Uncharted 4. And the 100% for that is fucked, so probably won't go near it. With multiplayer, it's only Uncharted 3 that's not obtainable now, I believe. Off the top of my head. Like the OG, the remake or the remaster is doable. So I would just do the remaster. Two's online is still working. I don't know. I think they patched 2 where 2 is still obtainable somehow. What is fucked with 4? The survival mode, the DLC. The DLC survival mode is cooked apparently. Can't be done. I'm pretty sure 3 can't be done. And then both can't be done then. I don't care for either of them, to be honest with you. I didn't really like Uncharted 2 very much. There you go, both are done. Yeah. It is real easy. I just don't enjoy it. I don't actually like, not the multiplayer for 4, but the actual like survival mode. There's like DLC trophies for 4. If you mean the base games for Uncharted, I just don't like Uncharted enough to do the platinums. I just like Uncharted 4. And I've played them all. If anyone is wondering. I love them. You generally be a pretty highly loved series. Stop. But now you're gone. I'm beginning to think.
Gary, I'm sorry I neglected you. Oh, I never expected you to run away and leave me feeling this empty.
Which is probably a shock to absolutely no one. I don't really like Naughty Dog games. Goes hard? You goddamn right it does. But I just don't seem to really like Naughty Dog very much. Anything they do. Which is a very unpopular opinion, but it's not like I've not played all the the Naughty Dog games or anything. Just don't enjoy them. Boom, 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 doom. And yes, the big bad, The Last of Us, is included in that. I don't like the Last of Us either. There was a glyph here. What? Jak and Daxter? Yeah, no. I don't mind Jak and Daxter. I don't hate it. I think 2 and 3 ruined it for me. I didn't hate the first game. Ski crazed. How dare you? But yes, that opinion is generally not liked by a lot of people, but it's just the truth, I'm afraid. This is... I think we're gonna miss something here. I've got a really bad feeling. Not even crash? I don't like crash either, no. I think I've played one of the spin-offs, a little bit of 2 and 4. And I played CTR as well. Team Racing. See how much you love it? I'm going to crash out playing Crash Bandicoot. I already know this. I'm going to crash out for it. It's on the same day for a reason, because it'll be unfinished for a very, very long time. Crash Bash was peak. But yeah. Like I said, I don't know what it is. Like, it's not like I try to. I just don't like Naughty Dog games. I've played pretty much all of them as well. At least a lot of the popular ones anyway. And I have played The Last of Us. They're not on any of my trophy lists because I played it with my mate, because he tried to get me into it when it first released a long, long time ago. And I did not enjoy it. I've seen him beat the entire game as well. And seen Email play like half of The Last of Us Part 2. And that sadly didn't interest me either. So I won't be going anywhere near it. Is banned? It is banned, yes. It is a banned redeem. Because Purge is not naughty. I'm just bad to the bone. I think, is there a glyph here that I'm not seeing? Am I tripping or... I forgot that this has motion controls camera. That's why it's flipping, because I'm like putting my controller to the side. To be fair, I don't really like platformers very much either, but then, you know, but again, people redeem a lot of games that are whatever they like, and that's the idea of it. I liked Ratchet and Clank though, that was good. I do like Ratchet 4. Jesus, this isn't... Wait, why is it banned? Because I don't like it. There's two games that I genuinely don't like and I will not enjoy a single second of, and I refuse to play it for that many hours just for people in my chat to lose their shit at me for not enjoying the game the entire 40 to 60 hours. Is The Last of Us and Fortnite. Both of those games are banned in my channel. Because I refuse to play them, because I know I'll hate them. And I don't need my chat constantly crashing out as I platinum them and not enjoy them. Because I don't think there'll be a shred of me enjoying any of it, so it's just not worth it. One day I shall return to when I can. Ooh. Isn't Last of Us kind of horror-y? Yeah, the horror isn't really the problem with it. Because then I would just like put it under like a horror redeem as well if that was the case, and still could be done. But it's because it's actually banned. There's a few horror games that are banned as well. Like Outlast is banned. And so is Resi 7. Resi 8. And Slender Man. Those are also banned in my channel. I would play everything from Naughty and Santa Monica. Santa Monica's good. I do like Santa Monica quite a lot. I want to test out that new game they got. And Teabag did The Last of Us, man. Which that makes sense though, and I would too. Okay, this is where it's tough. So I actually cannot be seen by these guys at all, and it's tough to do this one. I think there's a way of RNG. Okay, looks like I got all the collectibles there too somehow. Did I? I feel like I didn't. Maybe I did. I stand with Purge on The Last of Us. It's okay. Appreciate you. The worst part is, I think, about The Last of Us. Doesn't it have, as well. Doesn't it DLC... It has permadeath trophies, does it not? Yes, there is permadeath settings. Yeah, that's even more so why I wouldn't do it. Yeah, that's even more so why I wouldn't do it. That's like just another thing really to add into there, isn't it really? I've seen permadeath runs for the game from people who've played it non-stop and still can't do the game properly. Didn't finish Last of Us, but intro was one of the best in games. It's one of those separate from the main trophy list things. Yeah, the DLC. I would have to do it eventually, and that would just also piss me off. You trying to... Oh, Arkham City? Nice. Oh, it haunts me. Oh, Trials. Oh, nice. Oh my god. That's actually like... I really struggle to do this one usually. I think the talking about Naughty Dog actually got me through that. Nice. But I will do the Crash games as well. As I said, they're redeemed. And they might just sit there forever too. Like, I'll just at least finish the story on them. Because it's Sophie redeemed them. And I'll just make sure to do the entire 3 to 4 games at least. And then I'll just clean it up as I go. But I'll beat them just to begin with. And then we'll just see how we go. Because yeah, if you guys want to see some Crash outs, you're going to see them. I can promise you that. Can promise you that. If anyone watched me do Sackboy, that was a whole nother thing. That was ridiculous. I still don't know many people who did it naturally. I still never gotten over that fact that there was a guy that came in was shit talking me while I was doing it, and saying how not hard it is, and then later admitting that he didn't do it actually, and that he paid someone to do it. Which is just so stupid. But anyway. Don't you love people? Doesn't it help the insane Chili's Bork jumping? Yeah, I do remember the game being kind of funny like that. I don't think they don't have ports on the PS3, do they? On what specific trophy? The final one, the String It Together trophy. At gunpoint, Arkham City on Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden. Dead ass. Dead ass. I don't think there was even a hesitation when I just said that, to be honest with you, was there? I think I missed a trophy here. Oh no, I got it. The OG PS1 games. They do have ports. Hang on. No trophies. Oh, bugger. I would have liked to play the original ports. I've got Crash 2 on the PS1, funny enough. Is it Crash 1? It might be Crash 1. It's one of them. I can't remember which one it is. I'm yet to play it. I need to play it at some point. Bugger, that would have been so sick. Because I am planning to play all of the ones like that, basically, like that I can, with them like being like PS3 ports. The PS3 ports tend to be better. That's why I did the Jack games as well, like that. Okay. Really worried about missing something here. I reckon I'm going to miss something. You played the Jack games on PS3 as well? Yeah, I think I did prefer it on the PS3. I've heard some things about the PS4 ports from people. I did hear the PS5 ports fixed a lot of it though. Oh, okay, I see. I saw Deadpool at PS the other day and had the opportunity to get it instead of money as the person who bought a puppy was short, but it stank like a smoke badly. Damn. Yeah. That's fair. It must have been tempting to... Some things with ciggies and stuff, like, you just will never get the smell out of it. I'm not like... I don't get too upset for the smell of smoke, but like, there are certain types of like cigarettes and tobacco that just reeks, depending on what they smoke, and sometimes it just won't ever come out, which is sad. But I don't have anything against smoking, but... H3 Jack Sly and ROC. Nice, nice. They're quite well priced. I need to buy the Ratchet and Clank ones, and I'm gonna do Sly as well on there, I think. Bit sad about Crash now. Ooh, when I saw it on the shelf, but the smoke in the place was killing me. That's fair, that's fair. Brown ones, yeah, like the just like, what do you call it, like kind of dirty. Oh, I see you little shit. How do I get in here though? Oh no, okay, I just get in here. Nice. Oh shit, there's one hidden back there. What the fuck? Oh, there's the third one, sorry. Damn, where was it again? There it is over here. This one's so well hidden. It's ridiculous. I've beaten this game 8 times. I've never known you could get back here. Oh, collect all unique glowing symbols across one or more journeys. Wait, that's it? That's not all of them, is it? Is that it? Oh, that's huge. Well, that might have made my day. Now I want a beer. But damn it. I'm out of beers as well. I drank them all. I don't need it. I don't need it! %, counts as platinum nowadays, just saying. 100%? Yes. The idea is there is no trophy list for them. It's just a silly name that I've come up with, if that makes sense. It's more what do you call it? Because I plan to expand it eventually into people being able to redeem whatever they want. So I plan to expand it into like Switch games and PC games, and if they're within a certain price range, yeah, and within around that 10-hour region, then they can redeem what they want. New slogan: no beer unless you're playing Fear. Oh my god, I'm never playing Fear. I know that game's terrifying. Who was trying to talk me into playing that one time? That game is terrifying. Was it you? No, I'm never touching that game. I've seen my cousin play that. That game is terrifying. It looks cool though. I remember it being cool. But I can't do it. They have no plats. They're quite rare these days, hey. There's a few I want to do. I want to do party animals at some point. As well. You spin me right round, baby, right round. When it goes down, when it goes down, down. Wait, I forgot. Am I supposed to be doing something in this temple? Oh shit, hang on. I forgot. I think I might be. Give me a second. Oh, I forgot the hidden flower. Shit. Bugger. Valiant Hearts. The Great War, Fireland says Pedestrian, AC Freedom Cry, The Walking Dead Season 2, Somerville, Siberius Warrior 2. Nice. I don't like Naughty Dog, but I want to do Party Animals. Bruh, yeah, better game. Party Animals is amazing. Didn't have that one, so that's so strange. It was weird how they did that, yeah. Okay. Party Animals is great. I've got like 100 hours on PC. I think it's crossplay as well, so it'd be a good community one at some point to do. When I go back to doing community platinums again. Not in there either. There it is. You little shit. I found ya. Ancestors. Nice. That's another one there. Number 4. Number 4 of 14. I think that's the final one we need. I don't think there's anything in this final area where we need to do anything. Yep. Okay, cool. We can just beat the game now. I'll come back to it. We'll come back to the other stuff at the end. We might as well. I've done this a lot quicker than I thought I would. The pedestrian, eh? I forgot about the pedestrian. That exit 8's on sale at the moment as well. Does that get a platinum? I feel like it doesn't, does it? One on your DC, that Among Us, 250 hours. Yeah, it is. It's huge because they patched everything, so it's not possible to farm it anymore. And then sometimes, like, the stupidest part is, like, even if you boost it, I think boosting it with people on average, it's like 60 to 80 hours or something silly. It's ridiculous. It's such a stupid grind. Have you done it? Because I got to do the DLC as well. You did it in less than 10? Yeah, they patched that method, so it's not possible anymore. So you got to do everything naturally. So it's 75 hours on average to do the base game, even if you're boosting. And then another 70 or so to do the DLC trophies as well. And originally it was like a 15-hour platinum when it was redeemed. Oh, nice, the VR game. But I've tried to do the boosting myself as well, because you can do it by yourself. You're lucky with that? Nice. The problem is I grind it every like few weeks. I play for a little bit to chip away at it. But the RNG to even become the killer is hard, because obviously it's like cross-platform and people figured out ways to always be the killer and stuff, but I can't find a way to do it. And the lobbies will kick you, people are being toxic and all this other types of stuff, so it's just hard to play the game consistently. So I just don't. I just chip away at it as it comes around, and then I've tried the boosting by myself because you can just do it on your phone because it's crossplay. So we did the Switch. So I've got to switch to my phone and my laptop, and then obviously on my PlayStation. So you can boost that way. But it's RNG whether you even become the killer, and then I'm only getting 3 kills a game. So it's like fuck. And then my community helped me a few times with a little few things, but it's like it's not fun for people, like that many people to be there. So I could do a boosting group, but then the boosting group is like, I think like 8 to 10 hours a weekend for like 6 to 7 weeks until you're done. So it's like, and that's just the base game. Because you got to pass it around, obviously, as well. Wait, wrong game? Hey, John. Been 1 week. How popular was it at the time? Now I barely remember that exists. Yeah, for real. The game will die eventually. I just want the devs to patch it so I can do something. Because there's just no easy way to make the game accessible. It's still very popular. You didn't sing the song? I don't know the song. Oh, that the impatient. Or for the impatient. Okay. It's been 1 week. I don't know the song. Damn it. I'm sorry, fam. Yeah, Among Us, yeah, like I said, just chip away at it. I've had a few times people want to play, so I'll just hop on and play with them, just naturally, but... At some point, I'll get like a shitload of spare time on my hands. It'll happen eventually, and I'll just do that. Like, maybe Rikoi wants to watch all of Game of Thrones or something, and usually I trophy grind, but I want to watch a lot of Game of Thrones, so I'll just play Among Us while we watch it, because it's... At least I can concentrate and sort of not really know what I'm doing on Among Us. It's fine. You don't know bare naked ladies. Not much for Smash yet. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't. I'm sorry. I think we're missing 2 glyphs, I think. You know them? Oh, that's the VR game based on Until Dawn. Interesting. I've never heard of it. I know they did that weird clown one, didn't they? I'm watching right now, Pions, but still don't understand what the hell is it. Smash Bros 3D? It's like, it's a fucking lot now. It's, what do you call it? Shit, what is that game? What's the game that they made before Party Animals? That's really popular. It's just like a party, like Gang Beasts. It's like Gang Beasts, but so they made Gang Beasts first. I don't know if you remember that, where you just muck around and you try to kill each other. Basically, it's like a battle royale type thing, and like you don't really control your character properly, and you can pick them up, throw them, and stuff. And that's basically the idea of it. It's just the basic idea of it. But Party Animals added a lot. Like they've got a card game. They've got a racer in there now as well. Like you can do like kart racing in the game, which is pretty insane. The kart race is actually not too bad either, funny enough. And then there's cards, like you can play like poker, blackjack, what else? There's a lot of mini games in there now. I don't even know all of them anymore. Welcome back. Gotcha. It's just a muck around game. It was just one of my favorite games to drink and play a few years ago. Me and my friend Madden played a stupid amount of it. Madden's got like, I think 400 hours in it or something crazy, and I've got 120, I think.
Couldn't decide if to give 6 or 7 bits, so take 6, 7 equals 13. 6, 7 Capu also looking good today, purge less than 3.
Eat on banana. Thank you so much for the biddies, fam. Welcome back, Minx. Also, don't mind me lurking, by the way, just avoiding spoilers. You're all good, you're all good. You haven't played this before? You should. Shit's so good. And then you should go play Sword of the Sea when I finally make Rye play it. I'm saving up for $1 million just to make him play the bloody game. Because he won't take my money. And there's a tight workout pants that literally have built-in ass crack, not just butt support. I think there's tight workout pants that literally have a... Yes, there is. Yes, I've seen them before. Like, as in, like, I've seen them in a shop before with Rikoi. Yeah, they're literally a thing. Yeah. They're called ass shapers, I think. They're meant to help people, you know, that want to, I don't know. Whatever. There's no way it's comfortable. Anyway, I own the PS3 version. Nice. Giveaway purge, then I have to take. Give him a code. This one's well hidden. I forgot about this one. Dude, all the girls in front of me are wearing them. They're pretty popular. They're genuinely a thing. I've actually seen them in the store as well. They've been around for a while though, but because they've been really popular. I had an ex who really wanted to get some as well, I think, and liked them. It's sort of just a thing where I live, so.
Bulge ladder.
They should have had them for guys with bulge patter. Oh my god. How many people do you think how many guys do you think are actually padding up in the gym anyway? Quite a lot. Let's be real. Thank you for the 5 biddies there. Bulge ladder. $100%. There would 100% be guys doing that. I've got no doubt in my mind. I know at least a few people who go to the gym, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they did it, knowing them. What, you're here to work out? Bro, I'm here to look good. He big nanas? Yeah. Banana doesn't need it. Boys in tracky decks where I am. They all wear boardies and tracky decks. Yeah. But it's not like they're still not trying to make some type of fashion statement, because I know chicks like still really like the tracky thing as well, apparently. Don't need it either, Pog? Hell yeah. Staring at my fat ass sweats. Here's my last Guardian Daggy shirt, sleeves rolled up. That's just, I don't know. Just something, I don't know. I genuinely think it's probably just more of an Australia thing instead, but it's one of the reasons why I refuse to go to the gym, because I can't be fucked dealing with people like that. I should be playing Spider-Man, but I don't feel like switching to my PS3 right now. Which one are you playing? Ow! I think of it as a community service, means you get to wear a long jersey as well, then edge your ass in the gym. What, Banana? This is too early for me. She wiggles her hips while walking on the treadmill too. Are you just watching her? Just work out on stream. Oh, dude, I'm not. The workout streams is not my type of, like, what do you call it, forte either. I don't know how people do that. Edge of time. Oh, nice. I mean, respect to people who do, but I would never. She's right in front of me. Are you not watching stream? God. Fake fan, guys. Fake fan. History? She's fine. No one yells at girls looking at girls. It's true. Alright, 5 of 14. Alright, we'll try to finish the game now. I think that's it. I don't think we need to grab anything else, do we? That's huge. I don't have to do that. Cross the bridge. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. What the fuck? Is it because I found this? This one, I remember finding this my last playthrough. And I was like, what? I've never seen this in my life. You skipped like all the thing too. Bum Bum is nice to rest eyes upon. I have done it before. Law. All I gotta do with my ass is more squats, but not lunges. Fuck lunges. Me and my homies hate lunges. Fuck squats too, to be fair. Gee, where the fuck am I going? Oh yeah, okay. We're in the second area. But no, my gym is usually the retired folks groaning at things, but weekends all housewives come out to show off their Gucci Lorna Jane. Yeah, whatever person came up with the idea of just making stupidly expensive like gym clothes has made a fortune. It's been a thing forever, I guess, hasn't it? With like the calisthenics and stuff. The stairs at home work too. I respect it. You got to lift. They're so expensive. It's disgusting. Even normal sports clothes, like if I want to play a sport, it's really expensive to buy anything. It's really infuriating. I gotta get strong. Love me a stairs machine though. I'd probably put one in my house, to be fair. Like if I was going to do something like that, I guess it would help with cardio. I don't know. I don't need cardio though. I walk so much in my job, it's ridiculous. I genuinely think I would have a lot of like leg problems if I actually ended up doing more cardio than I currently do. To be fair, my knees are already fucked as well, which doesn't help. Every time there's no bike, I stare at the stair machine ominously like, is this the day? You should hop on there. Put some Rocky on. Answers. Yeah, Banana's got those cheeks. Someone gets off the recliner bike and I think, thank fuck. Thank you so much for the 4 months, Cheska. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, fam. I'll last like 20 steps then fall off. I mean, you know, it's still a lot. I hate cardio. I think if I did anything like that, I would definitely just do cardio. I don't care about anything else, to be fair. I just want to lift. Sound like every person ever, to be fair. I don't lose weight, but I don't gain it. Oh, nice. My body fluctuates quite a lot, so I lose and gain a lot. Genuinely. Clear likes cardio, and I think he's weird, and cardio is just better. My ass hurts so bad. Bulking purge. Spin bikes are not good for my ass shape. Let's say, is the game gonna push me here? It is. It doesn't usually. Gotta break in those bikes, unfortunately. Probably get close, and then the gym's like, you know what, we should replace those. Yeah, I remember you asking me about that. He doesn't talk about his cycling very often. Made for female hips and good luck. Yeah, that's just about right. Sadly. Oop, I died. Oh no, I forgot. It actually wants me to do that, doesn't it? Me dancing and walking back and forth on the corner of my job is good cardio. I can imagine, yeah. You spin 5 times a week, and I don't think I'll touch weights again, not gonna lie. That's fair. Just must hate me. I experienced it right before the micro tears. I'm good. I miss dancing though. Tit micro tears? What? Now I've started something, poor Perch. This is going on YouTube as well, Minx. This is on you. The Black Panther pack DLC don't, Great Adventures? No regrets. If I get comments, I'm sending them your way. I'm now lost, lol. Yep. That's about right. Black Panther Pack DLC for LEGO Avengers is done. Oh, nice. Was it hard? Just pull it back in the shower. Just more 6 gem. A lot of DLC in that game. Is it just missions? I know one of the Batmans is like that. Right. Education of titties and bums. We're into platinuming in education topics. As a long-time Purge chatter on Twitch, I also encourage you to join the party on Twitch. This is hornier than Sarah's. There's no chance it's hornier than Sarah's. Because Sarah is the leader of all the horny people on her channel, to be fair. Though she won't admit it. I've caught her out before. Don't need that kind of negativity in our lives. I like Taco Bell. I like KFC as well, though. It's like Play-Doh. Can't see band messages, right? Asking for a friend. Yeah, I wish that's how it worked, eh? Wait, you finished it already? It's not a long game, yeah. It's only 2 hours. Don't listen to Tubes. They're banning people who don't like 2-decade-old chicken buckets. Did we get the plat and I missed it again? No, platinum in this game. Just 100%. It takes another... I have to beat the game in a week anyway. To get the full 100% for this game. You actually play this in? It's not very long. Sword of the Sea is the same. It's only like 2 hours, 3 hours at most. No, the game fucked him. I'd fuck this game. This shit's good. This is my first ever indie game, actually, that I ever beat. Can we stream that on Twitch? I'm moving to a different site. Nah, just tower burgers and soggy salty chips, yum. But I'm on that order ban at the moment. We ordered too many tower burgers and they didn't get paid off this month. Don't necessarily eat the bucket, but when it contains an aim being said, I'd be a liar if I said I haven't chewed the bucket. Fair enough. In UK, KFC of MC is really bad. KFC's pretty good here. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like always consistently good though. No audio. Drive safe, fam. We didn't. Oh, we did meet someone. Data. That was someone we saw, like, I think midway through the game. And then they disappeared on us. Is Sides good? That's a good question. I feel like Sides looks alright. It doesn't look amazing though. I wish there were more... I think there's a lot of Nando's in the UK, yeah. I like Nando's a lot. They're disappearing in Australia. They don't really exist anymore. Cielo. Yeah, and then this new journey. you go, resets. Okay. So, we need to get a few trophies here. Let's clean up some trophies. So we've got to do the bridge still. I think, hang on, let's have a look. I think it'll keep playing with me home screen. Let's have a look. 6 of 14's done. So we're missing start the journey after a week, which we'll do next week. Breach the summit for companion. I'm going to try to do that for a koi. Meet 10 or more unique travelers is going to take time. Sit and meditate with another player as well. Do Rikoi. Find the hidden desert flower. We'll try to do now. Finish the game with the same partner again. Rikoi. Cross the broken bridge is what we're going to try to do right now. I'm not sure why it didn't work last time, but anyway. Pass through the gate while surfing through the sunken city. 15 gates. Okay, so we just got those two. That's not too bad. We'll try to do those real quick. Is sides good? No, like the side men, like restaurant train. Are they still a thing, actually? Isn't there? I wonder if they could have specialized in side dishes. They don't be. It kind of is like they're a little bit small, aren't they? Like a tapas restaurant. I feel like a tapas restaurants are pretty expensive to run there. You need the quality. But I guess it's like a fast food chain. Apparently it's pretty good though. Especially because they eat it every time they make a podcast. So it must be decent if they're eating it every time. Because they are definitely some picky ass motherfuckers now. So you're gonna eat the side dish. He won't be. Yeah, if they eat it. I think that says it all, doesn't it, really? I think if they, you know. Okay. The same poke, yeah, true. You have to eat it all the time there. I think they eat it every week nearly, which is pretty impressive. I guess that thing though, if you enjoy something, like, why wouldn't you, you know, back it? I'd be shitty if I, like, created something like that and it was shit food. That would piss me off beyond belief. One here, burger, steaks, all sorts of shit as a tiny dish. It's very good, but fuck me, sideways, it's not cheap. I bet it isn't, hey. Yeah. Tapas is very nice. I really like tapas a lot. Sometimes it goes a little bit overboard though, but it's always quite good. Like traditional tapas and stuff. There's not many around in Australia. It was really trending about 10 years ago. And it's sort of died again now. It's been away. Wonder if they ever killed it. Yeah, COVID could have killed it. That's fair call. If you want to get fucked up, you go to a tapas restaurant too. If you're going somewhere, if you're gonna spend a stupid amount of money, I would rather go to like a tapas restaurant than like a 5-star like restaurant. If I'm going to get fucked up, at least. Pinchos is called. Interesting. If you never heard of it, which I feel like I have. Buy more tapas. It's just like the whole point of tapas food is it's supposed to be paired with the alcohol, so it kind of works well. But the alcohol is quite cheap at some of them generally. Yeah, you do like cocktails and wines and beers, but beers are always cheap at tapas restaurants generally as well, like for what they usually are. So I tend to drink a fuckload, but I'm a big cocktail person. I like cocktails as well, so I'm a slut for it. There is one in town, but it's like where I live, but it's they changed the chef and it's not as good anymore, so are usually expensive though, at least here. They are expensive, yeah, I agree. Okay, we might have got it. Hang on. Oh, there's old mate. Oh, that's someone. That's a person. Interesting. There you go, threshold. He must be waiting for people for the trophy. What a smart way to do it. What a really, really smart way to do it. He actually got up here too. There's I think there's another person there. I know. AFK, yeah. So for a trophy in this game, you have to meet 10 different types of pit players, which the servers are old as fuck and it's a little dead at this point. So he's doing it purposely. I think I've got that skin. Hang on, let's have a look. I should have that skin, I think. Maybe not. I think I might need to do something still. I think I need to finish the game with the people, I'm pretty sure. It's something weird like that. Alright, cool. Well, chapter select. Wait, is it this one over here where they give me the skin? It might be. Hang on. I haven't had this skin before, actually. Funny enough, I haven't got all the collectibles before, so I'll be pretty cool with this one. Oh yeah, nice. Look at that. That's sick. I think I have infinite, like, not infinite jump, but like I have more powerful jump too. That's sick. What do we want to do? The frickin'... Which one's this one? It's the tower. It's not what we want. It's this one. That's the final bit. Might be this one, is it? Canadian loaded Caesar drink. A Canadian... Oh, I feel like I've had one of these, funny enough. But I was really drunk. So I can't remember when. To be honest with you. I was in the city, I reckon. I can't remember it though, yeah. But I reckon I've had one before at a restaurant. Here we go. This is what we want. So we got to go through 15 of these. I might have to search this up. Oh, I need the desert flower as well. I forgot about that. Hang on, let me... With whole chicken and brownie shit? Yeah. Yeah, I reckon I had one once at like a restaurant. It was a long time ago. Like I said, I was plastered. It might have been for like a Bucks party or something. I don't know if it had brownies though. It might have been cookies. And it did have chicken though. Shit, I've missed that one. That's not a good start. One, two. Okay. When it became a thing, I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you when when it actually was. I've had one when I was plastered. It's been a few times where I've like blacked out and I can't really remember everything. That makes me want it, lol. Well, the idea is it's got, what's it called in it? That, like, is said to cure hangovers. Nothing cures a hangover, to be fair. Purges a plaster? Maybe plaster's not a normal word. Means drunk as fuck. Horseradish. I tried horseradish. I didn't think it worked very well, personally. That could just be me, though. And no, I don't think... I don't think Worcester works either. You ever blackout on stream before? No. Never. Trying to think. Takes a lot for me to black out. Not gonna lie. Tomato with spices and clam broth. Oh, that's gross. I don't think tomato works either. Tomato juice. Tomato soup did help a little bit once, and that's it though. It didn't cure it. But I don't remember. Fuck! Would have been a funny response. I broke a bone. Can I get purge as a plaster? But no, I've never blacked out in stream before. You've never tried clamato soup? Oh, stop it. I think half the time it's just a mind game, and people who think like their remedies work probably just it works for them because they tell their body it works, so it works. And people who claim they never get hangovers, I've said this before, generally just always feel like shit. So like they always say alcoholics don't get hangovers. That's because they just always are hungover. So you just never feel it anymore. So it's sort of the same thing. Probably just always feel like crap all the time and don't realize it. Clamato sounds good. Ugh, no, it doesn't. That's true, I think. I think it, for definitely with alcoholics, it's definitely what it is. Me being one, of course. I get to the stage where I don't get hangovers. Like last night, I drank 20 beers yesterday, and I don't feel shit today. What way are they gonna go here? Sorry, just give me a second. So they're gonna do the front three. Are they going right? They are gonna go right. Oh my god, that's a tight angle there. And that one counts, is it? Jesus, dude. Holy, okay. Okay, that's gonna be tough to do. And I passed that before I even got halfway through, lol. I'm never hungover. Well, I mean, it's only one slider. I hope the journey's going well. It's going well. How you doing, Rafiki? I was never after-baked when I used to smoke. Lightweight. The older you get, the worse the hangover you get. Yeah, that's probably just your body as well, isn't it? Drink much? I'm trying to decide if I continue drinking said cider, lol. But you didn't finish it? There's one. I think we got 6, did we?
Where is it? I will not ask again, child.
Hey Meg, how's it going? Give me a second. You motherfucker, game. What the fuck was that? I think that I just needed that one as well. That's the stupidest part. I think I needed that for the trophy. And the game was like, no. Oh no, we got it. Nice. Fuck me, I would have been annoyed. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate it. I'm doing good, man. Just got home from a birthday lunch. Oh, how was it? Shit was sipping while eating Chinese food and watching anime last night. It's right in front of me. I'd get rid of it then. Is it a glassy? Or is it a can? We're gonna do the we'll do the flour now as well, and I think that'll be all we'll do today. I think we're gonna do the flour. The young times on hangover you get pint and feel fresh as a daisy. Camp, my straw still inside. I would get rid of that. If it was in a glass bottle, I'd say otherwise, but don't trust cans enough. I've had enough bad experiences with them. I will not ask again, child. I'm going to be changing the cockcheck sound too. I was thinking of one the other day. Let's go find this flower real quick. Yeah, it was good. Hour drive there was a good turnout. Ooh, food was alright. What'd you guys have? Where is it? I will not ask again, child. The very tip. I swear to God, some people with video guides are so infuriating for like no reason whatsoever. They just like decide to like be difficult for the sake of being difficult. Oh, look, there's a person. I think it's over here. I got a lamb rack with some mash and veggies, and my son chips in because he wanted it, and then we got changed his mind and drank the zero because I was driving. Oof. Some mash and veggies and my son fish and chips. Yeah, I feel that. That's oofed about the lamb rack though. Was the fish good? I don't mind fish and chips. Don't hold quality alcohol glasses, bottles W. Yeah, I agree. Some drinks are okay in cans, but it's not everything. It's definitely got to have a stupid amount of sugar in it to stay in good shape, in my opinion. And even then, I wouldn't trust it, you know. Except from flies, I like drinking out of a can. The can's good, but it won't stay good, is what we mean. I'd be carrying that like a stone in my stomach, oof, but it was good. The fish and chips. There it is. Yeah, you feel that, yeah. There it is, Mirage. I think this guy wants to complete the game with me, but like he's in chapter select, so this won't work either. Because he's like he's far in, so like we can't do anything right now. I think once we're done with chapter select, you can't finish the game. Is that what he wants to do? What does he want to do? I'm not going to be able to do this with him. I feel really bad, but yeah. Big seed. Well, we got 10 of the 14, which I'm really happy with. And the final 4 are pretty much just going to be done with Rakoi. Well, the final 3, so I'll try to do it with her next week. What day is it? Monday? Sunday? 10 more unique travelers will be tough to do. Yeah. A lot of old beers and cans being drunk, lol. Fair enough, fair enough. exactly though. Like that's that thing. And then if you like, if it's old beers and stuff, it's got to be beer, doesn't it? Really, it's got to be beer. Cider, I don't trust cider enough with like sitting there for too long. Okay, guys, this was an extremely short stream, but that was sort of the idea. We finished a whole game in one sitting, pretty much. Did all of the collectibles and the playthrough that we could do. But yeah, I have to go to dinner with my in-laws. Is why I have to go, by the way. And I'm sorry I didn't stream last night. I had a bad day yesterday, and there was no way. I was going to crash out and stream, and I was worried about something happening, so I couldn't stream in the end. I might be back later. I think Rye's playing some Battlefield 6 later, so I might come back and play a little bit of that after dinner. We'll just see how we go, but sadly, that's all I can do today for now, and I'll be back tomorrow. We're either starting Expedition 33 tomorrow, or we're doing East Shade. I think we're going to do E33, because I'll do East Shade next Saturday is the plan, I think. And I'm going to try stream Tuesday as well to make up for missing Saturday at this point. But it'll be one of those two games we'll be doing and working our way through that. But see how we go. And then it'll be back to Friday again, whatever we do. E33 or whatever we're going to do. I think we might be doing some more Subnautica, actually. I haven't asked Minx about that. She might want to, she might not want to. See how it goes. Might wait for a new update. And then Saturday again will be East Shade, or we'll spin again. We'll see what happens. Sunday we'll do E33 or whatever as well. So, yeah. Super Curious, I seen it was flat. Oof, that's rough. That's an odd way to spell your alcoholism. Oh my god, bro. But yeah, I really appreciate you all coming in today. Again, I'm sorry it's such a short stream. This is the shortest stream I've done in 3 years, I think. Genuinely. Without, like, the internet crashing. So I think it was, like, Christmas Eve last time when I did it. So that was, yeah. But I really appreciate it. I hate how short this is. It's going to annoy me. So I might be back later, like I said. We'll see how we go. We're going to go get Rye. Fucking never get to raid this motherfucker anymore because he goes to bed earlier than I do. And it's crazy. Hey, Master Joyful. Ending already? No, I'm sorry, Spicy. It's just a short stream and then I might be back later. And we'll either do E33, East Shade, or we'll do Battlefield 6. It'll be one of those three, Spicy. So it'll be one of those ones. And then I'll be back tomorrow as well. Gotta go do some work as well. I feel terrible about it. I gotta have dinner with the in-laws, which is stressful. I got no beer left for it either. Which beer always helps with stuff like that. What is with that fucking Shad Walk shit, bro? That would be great. I hope so. But yeah, we're gonna go get Rye. He's currently playing Call of the Wild, which is a hunting game. I don't think that's what's been chosen for the stream. I think he'll be playing other stuff as well. So just see how you go. But he's just chilling in there, having a chat and playing a weird hunting game. If you want to see it, I don't think I've seen anyone play a fucking hunting game in years. So it's interesting to watch. But if you guys want to just show some support, show some love to him. He's a lovely person. I'd really, really appreciate that, guys. A lot. Get some Arizona. Good point, good point, good point. But I really appreciate you guys. You guys have a great night. And I'll hopefully be back. Or otherwise, yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.